Joining me today on The Color Conversation will be another dynamic husband and wife team, director Deon Taylor and his wife, producer Roxanne Taylor. Their newest film is entitled Fatale, starring two-time Academy Award-winning actor Hilary Swank and actor Michael Ealy. It's released in theaters on December 18th. So without further ado, join us in celebrating director Deon Taylor and producer Roxanne Taylor on The Color Conversation. So tell the audience real quick about Fatale, why you did this movie, and then we'll jump into one of the clips, and you can elaborate on that when we come out of that.
Definitely, man. So Fatale was one of the films that I wanted to create. I was always obviously a fan of, like everyone, Fatal Attraction. I know there have been plenty of remakes or ideas centered around movies like Fatal Attraction, but for me, it was always different. Like, I just love the integrity of that movie. People have now copied that film and made what I like to call bootleg imprints of it, right? Okay. But when you really think about the performance of Michael Douglas and Glenn Close, and you really understand the raw tension that was in that film, that movie goes beyond any award. It's great. He's really caught in something that he can't get out of. He doesn't know what to do, and he's blocked by his wife and his family. You know what I mean? There's no way in hell he could tell them this, right? And each time he's figuring it out, she gets a little more crazy. So I was always a fan of this, the performance of what it was, and the fact that it was a real life problem that he was trying to figure out. And as men and women, we're always kind of in these boxes where we're trying to figure things out. Mm-hmm. So when Fatale came, we had just finished doing Traffic, which was a very hard-hitting film. Very, centered in a world where I wanted young Black and brown girls to know, myself and Roxanne, that we are the ones being trafficked. Right. Mm-hmm. We thought that you're looking at Liam Neeson in another country, and I'm telling people like, no, you're the number one trafficked person in the world. You are. You know what I mean? Not some foreign girl in Russia, although they're going through it. American girls in inner cities are being trafficked daily. Right. So coming out of that, I wanted to do something that was a little bit different, but also had a message. So Fatale came from a little bit of me going, what's a crazy story that deals with someone that meets someone only to be used as a pawn after a simple meeting? Mm-hmm. And it was one simple mistake can change your life. Yeah. Right. And that thought drove this film for me. I was like, damn, I remember I was shooting baskets. I came in the house and said, Roxanne, I got this idea for this movie. It's this dude, and he goes to Vegas. And she was like, oh my God, this is crazy. My next phone call was to the writer. And I said, hey, I got an idea. Can you talk for 30 minutes? He was like, yeah. I pitched him the whole movie. I said, you got to write it now. But what's interesting about Fatale is it does give you the twist and the turns and the fun movie. But if you peel it back, it's a story about what's the most important thing that you have in your life: your reputation and your name. Absolutely. There's no check, there's no money, there's no car. There's if I go on Instagram today and say Floyd did this, right, and 10 more people say what, he did that, and they carry it on. Floyd, you in for a rude awakening, man. You gotta try to tell people you didn't do that. Right. Right? And if it's a big enough issue, which we've seen in Hollywood with a lot of people, there is no coming back for you. So I said, man, I wanted to center on that as a filmmaker. Like, I wanted to see what a guy would do that makes a mistake, but not only does he lose the family, but he also loses who he is in the rapid fire of this whole thing. And at the end of the day, he has to fight back to let America, let the world know, yo, I'm not what y'all just said I was.
I saw elements of, and I agree with everything you're saying. I saw elements of Strangers on the Train in that film as well.
Exactly.
Okay, great. Yeah. I love movies.
It just turned left. Yeah, that's right. It just turned left. Yeah.
I was like, Strangers on the Train. I get it. Yeah. Good call. That's great.
So we're gonna get into one of the clips. All right, you're on, Deon. What's happening? What's happening here?
You already know what's happening.
Right. Or what happened.
You know what's interesting about that scene was I came up with that moment on set. We were playing with that scene for about an hour, and There was a lot more dialogue in there that we were playing with. And I just thought, man, how witty is she to put someone's keys in a safe? Do you know what I mean? Already, this is who you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? You're already dealing with that person that has got up in the middle of the night, got your shit, and put it into. She already looked at your ID.
Right.
She got you already.
And she already know who you are.
Right.
And I thought to myself, like, wow, like this is really, really cool. So without me giving it away on here, I don't want to say what I want to say, but it showed what she was already. It showed how smart she was already. You know what I mean? And I said, this is it. Like when we did it, it was one take. And I was like, that's moving on. We out of this. Because I knew like that was going to grab audience. And we've screened this movie with audiences and you can't hear the screen. Because they're like, oh. You know, everybody's like going crazy. And I said, that's exactly right, man. Like this is a tough situation. He was already trapped.
Right. Right, she got him.
Didn't even know it.
All right, let's see, man. It looks really great. I mean, the cinematographer did a great job. I like the close-ups on Michael and on Hilary as well. That's definitely one of the things that popped out at me was the cinematography. So elaborate on that scene, if you will.
Yeah, so I mean, just speaking on the cinematography, it's the incredible Dante Spinotti, two-time Academy Award nominated cinematographer. Done movie The Insider, Last of the Mohicans, Heat, just one of the most special people behind the lens you could have. So those moments that he's creating there are, I mean, they're just cinematic gold. I mean, no way, you, Floyd, which I know is a movie guy and really understand film, when you see something like that, you understand that it's being lit by practicals outside, you know, that is really downtown LA behind her. You know what I mean? It's just all the moments are there. And he's incredible to work with. I had an opportunity to work with him on Black and Blue as well. And I just thought his work on that film was phenomenal. So we're hoping that this man can be recognized for his work in Fatale, for shooting the LA noir thriller like this. But yeah, that scene is, it's a unique scene, man. I'm really pushing as a Black filmmaker in that world. I'm in Mike's eyes at that time. And what I'm trying to do is show you he's boxed in. There's nowhere for him to go. So this scene is very, very powerful if you just watch the actor's eyes, Michael Ealy's eyes and Hilary's eyes. And if you really pay attention to the scene, if you watch Damaris, who's an amazing actress that's next to him, she has no idea that there's a storm going on between these two characters. She's kind of like, it sounds simple on the outside, but oh, it's a storm brewing in both of them. And I'm like, man, this is gold. You know what I mean? What can he do? Only thing he can do is lie and hope and see what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, but this was the part I pitched to Roxanne, which was, this is the nightmare that you do something and go home and you're done with it, only to have that person arrive in your living room of your house.
Right.
What? What? Yeah, that's like, okay, now you're really playing ball. So I love that scene. It's great.
Yeah, what I thought was interesting, and me and Stephanie had a chuckle out of this, is when she says, don't I know you from somewhere? And I'm like, you don't ever say that in front of another man's wife. You don't say, do I know you from somewhere? Like, no. Like, something's like, you get me in trouble right now with that. Like, let's take it alone. Don't I know you from somewhere?
You heard what he said, right? I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly.
To me.
No, she's like, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Jump in.
I thought that was funny. Okay, let's go on to the next one. So let the audience know what you were thinking in that scene when you were directing that.
Well, that was just a great scene for two guys that own a company together. And both of them have different ideas on what the company should be or where it should go. And I felt like that was a really, really powerful scene to put in the film, because oftentimes, like we say, when you're first generation at something, now they've built something together that is actually very profitable. And one partner is saying, look what we built. we could keep on building it and owning it. And another partner is saying, we're hot, everybody wants to buy us, right?
But he has an ulterior motive, though, right? I don't want to give it away, but
yeah, he does. But I think that ulterior motive of him wanting to sell, right, is also prying in their relationship. They can't see eye to eye on that. Right. You know what I mean? And that's one of the problems with business at times. That's why it's incredible that you have your wife as your partner. Not that you guys can't not see eye to eye, but you got to be in business with people that you know and you trust. And you guys have to have the same idea of what you're doing with that company, because there will be a time that if you keep working it, that it becomes profitable and someone would say, I'd like to buy it, right? And you might say, well, no, I've been working for 15 years to build this. I'm not selling it. And I just thought that was a really good, here's two good friends, best friends, and here's something that at night, both of them are tossing and turning because they can't get along with the same idea.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that was excellent. What's the gentleman's name? What's his partner's name?
That's Mike Coulter, who's a phenomenal actor. Mike Coulter plays Luke Cage. He's also on the #1 show on ABC now, Evil. Just a great actor, man. Great guy, great actor. Mike Coulter was also in Black and Blue. He played Darius for me. But I seen him first in Clint Eastwood's $1 Million Baby. He played opposite Hilary Swank. He was the boxer that was in the gym with Hilary Swank. Great actor.
Oh, okay.
Was he an athlete? I'm assuming he was an athlete at some point.
Yeah, I believe Mike played a little bit of football, but I think he was a football player for a while, but acting is his thing.
Yeah. He looked very familiar. You know, one of the things I thought was interesting, and I had seen a promo you had did on social media with on Tyron Turner. And I was assuming that Tyron was going to be, you know, like this was going to be like a huge role. I was a little disappointed that he wasn't in the movie as much as I wanted him to be.
Right.
You know
right. What I mean? Well, he does play a very big role in the film.
Play a big role.
He does.
But yeah, I think that I had to place him. So much stuff going on because we can't lose focus. There was a lot more of him and Mike Coulter.
Cut it out.
But what happens in these films is it becomes a two-hander. Right. It's about Hilary and Michael Ealy. Right. You know what I mean? And what ultimately happens is you have to sacrifice at times a little bit of those B and C stories in order to pull out the A story even more. Right. But I just thought Tyron's role to be in this was like phenomenal, because who would have ever thought we would see Tyron Turner opposite Hilary Swank? Kane. Right? I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Like, I remember looking on set through the camera one time, like, yo, that's Kane and Hilary Swank. That's crazy. Yeah, it was great. But he was a bad boy in this, though, man.
Yes, he was.
He was. And what's his partner's name? His cousin's name?
That artist, he's a rap artist. His name is Compton Menace. Now, I'll tell you where I seen that kid at, which I was like, man, this kid's a star. I wanted to just use him.
Oh, he's not an actor.
He's not an actor. But what happened was, in the NWA movie, the first 5 minutes of the film, there are kids throwing stuff out the bus. If you ever seen the movie, the Straight Outta Compton movie.
Yeah.
And a car pulls over in front of the bus, and a guy gets on the bus. And that guy is Compton Menace. And for 35 seconds, when that movie first started, everybody in the theater that I was with was like, yo, who is that? He had a 30-second role in the movie. I was like, I got to use him. Like, he was just that good. So his name is Compton Menace, and he's a great actor.
But in the movie, his name is it Bumpy?
Yeah, Bumpy. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. All right, we're going to go to the last and final clip. Then she got him.
I think that's got him, and I think that's when, for me, that's when you see acting at the next level to me. Like, that just was great, man. Like, no matter who you are, you have to appreciate that scene with him and her. You know what I mean? Like, she has a position, he has a position. And they're both, again, which is they're both trying to get something, right? He just wants her to go away, right? But at the same time, he used her. You know what I mean? So now she's going to use him, right? And it's like, all right, here we go. But they're just, man, all those interrogation scenes are great to me. I love them.
Yeah, and speaking of Tyrant, it was somewhat similar to the Menace. Not really.
Yeah.
Sort of, kind of, not really though.
Yeah.
I mean, there was an interrogation scene, and obviously in Menace Society as well. That famous interrogation scene where he says, "You know, you fucked up." So.
Right.
And she's essentially saying the same thing to him. And that scene was just like, "You know, you fucked up, right?" Or he knows you fucked up. And he's kind of, you know, he what do they say? Don't eat where you poop, something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, he messed up big time, man. And I just thought that Michael's performance in the movie, when people get an opportunity to see it, what's great about him in the film is he's redeemable. Yep. And that's very hard to do. That's what I thought. That's when we were talking a little bit earlier about Michael Douglas and Fatal Attraction. He was redeemable. Right. You know what I mean? Here's someone that made a very, very bad mistake, but at the same time, it was a mistake and he was trying to fix it. You know what I mean? And he just made that mistake with the wrong person. But I love redeemable characters. And as crazy and off the wall Hilary is, she has a point too. You know what I mean? Like, she's coming from a certain place as well. She's not just nuts. She's been driven nuts by what's pushing her. Right.
So you're humanizing her. We didn't see her, you know, you're humanizing her character. And I'm kind of like, I don't think she was too human there. She's really kind of had him in a web from the word go.
But I think we can't really speak to it as a woman without us giving away the movie. She's fighting for something that me and you, right? That's more precious to her than anything. Okay. So she's willing to have casualties for that. You know what I mean? So that's why I said, man, she has something. She's angling for something. She's not just Glenn Close, where she's like, oh, I'm just nuts. She is that, but she actually has something on the backpack this time. But she's like, I need to fill this backpack up. So I think that's what kind of moves it a little bit.
Right. So you're promoting. Tell the audience what you're promoting. It's a buy one get one. If they go see the movie, is that correct?
Opening weekend.
Yeah, opening weekend. Myself and Roxanne, we put together a campaign where if you buy one ticket to see Fatale, we'll buy the other one for you. Nice. And you can go to adamtickets.com to learn more information about that. Or you can go to amctheaters.com to rent out an entire theater for you and your family to see the movie. Obviously, we know that the pandemic is going on and people don't want to go out and you have to be safe. But when we learned a little bit about this program that they have called Cinema Safe, and we learned all the things they're doing in the theater for people to actually be able to go have a movie experience, we were like, oh man, well then people need to go see the movie in the theater, especially if you get out the house and just go with your wife or your friends and have a whole theater. And I just said, man, we got to make sure people get a chance to see this movie on the big screen because Dante's work is phenomenal. The sound, the score. Jeff Zanelli is the composer who did all the Pirates of the Caribbean films. So we just wanted to let people get that impact. And also, we could all use a little escapism right now with everything that's going on. So the theater for me has always been a way to get away from everything that's going on in the world and just see something, man, and escape for 2 hours with a big box of popcorn and a soda. So hopefully people will get an opportunity in whatever markets that are open to go check out the film safely.
We will help promote that, absolutely.
Yeah, that's definitely what we're gonna do. Well, we want to salute both you and your lovely wife, Roxanne, Deon. You guys are phenomenal. We are honored to meet you guys. Yes. It's been our pleasure. We look forward to meeting you in person, and I'm sure you'll have a film because you're just cranking them out left and right.
And you guys, I'm honored to know you guys, and congratulations for all your work.
I mean, you're
on Martha's Vineyard as Black people pulling other Black people.
Amen.
You know what I mean? To showcase their work. Yeah, it's incredible.
Be happy about that,
you know?
Man. Look, I'll leave you guys with this. You guys, we've never been to Martha's Vineyard. We were coming because we were invited by you all to be there for the first time ever. You know what I mean? And that's historic. You know what I mean? And this would have been one of the moments where we would have walked around and had that moment where we're like, damn, this is crazy. Like, you know what I mean? So those are the moments, and we have so many of those. Like even now, like as we're going around talking about the film, you know, it took a long time to get to a place to where you could get people looking at Dante's work from the Academy, or you could see people say, man, Hilary was really good. But before they was just like, oh, y'all just making movies. We don't give a shit.
Right.
It wasn't good. Next, you know what I mean? And we're like, wait, hold on. We're really doing these movies for $2, $3, $4, $5 million. Like you guys got to really give us a chance and look at these things.
That's
you know what I mean? So now we've really worked hard to get to a place to where someone who is a critical eye like Floyd can talk to us about cinema. Right. And that alone means everything to us. You know what I mean? Like it's not just the story and the drive to get here, but Floyd said, what are you thinking about in that scene? And I'm able to tell him. And that's a priceless moment. So we really, really respect, number one, and appreciate you guys for what you guys mean to the culture. And it is not going unseen what you all are doing. So please keep it up, man. We're fans.
Thank you. And likewise, congratulations to both of you guys. Kudos and continued success. You guys are amazing. And you're an inspiration to Gary, Indiana, Chicago, and every little Deon Taylor and Roxanne out there, man. You guys are making it happen for sure.
So tell the audience when this film's coming out. Tell them when it's coming out.
December 18th in theaters everywhere that's open.
Buy one, get one.
Buy one, get one, man. And guess what? If you out there, you got a whole bunch of money, just buy some tickets for us, man. We own this movie. It's Black owned, and we need you to support it.
Shortly after, if theaters aren't open, shortly after, it'll be coming to everybody's home. So just stay tuned.
Perfect.
All right, good deal.
All right, thank you guys so much.
Bye.
All right, thank you.